Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in this video I'm going to be going over how to draw the windshield. The windshield does look like a difficult part to draw. There's a lot of dimensions on the sheet. Most of them you won't even really need. So we're going to break this down piece by piece and get drawing. Alright, we're going to start off with some lines and some construction lines to draw the arcs that are going to end up here at the top. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I will come over here and I'm going to start with a line. The overall length of my shape is 3.04. Okay, so I'm going to have that there. Then I'm going to come up with a construction line, so I'll turn construction line on. It comes up 1 inch, and then I'm going to bring that over 2.55. Right? That's an important number that we're going to need. Next, I'm going to come in with another construction line, and I'm going to drag this one over. This one's going to be 3.01. I'm pulling all of these numbers off the sheet if you're not sure where they're coming from. And then we're also going to dimension from the top of that line to the bottom. That ends up being 0.64. 0.64. Okay, so at this point we are ready to draw some arcs. Let me get these numbers out of the way so we can see what we have. We have our one line here, and we're going to need to arc it from here to here, here to here, and then one more arc down at the bottom. Alright, so I'm going to choose my arc command. I'm going to start down here. I'm going to go to here. Okay, and what number do I need? Well, if we take a look at the sheet, that first arc has a radius of 6. So I'm going to type that in. 6. There's our first one. Alright, now unfortunately when I drew that, I had construction line turned on. So if I right click on it and just turn off construction line, there is our line. Okay, so far so good. Now I'm going to draw another arc. Okay, and if I go from this point here all the way up to here, and that will have an arc of 6 as well. Okay, now I got in a bad habit here. I got another construction line. We want to turn that off. Now I'm going to draw another arc. Okay, we're going to go from here to here, playing connect the dots. The number that we need for this one ends up being a radius of 0.4. Okay, so I'll type 0.4, and we are done. Okay, so before we finish the sketch, we need to make sure that these lines are tangent. Okay, the lines that we have here, we got to make sure that all of those are tangent. So to do that, we're going to come up top here, choose our tangent constraint, and if we select here and here, it's going to throw an error saying it won't let us do that. We need to delete some of these dimensions for our construction lines. So if we delete some of those, okay, that's what's throwing us the error right now. If I use the tangent constraint and I go tangent to here, okay, we get the constraint, and then I'm going to go from tangent from here to here, and we're good. If I finish the sketch, we do an extrude, okay, we'll make it go evenly, okay, and it comes out to 2.05, alright, is the total width of our shape. We'll press OK. We're going to come up and do some fillet, okay. The fillet for this ends up being, if we look at our drawing here, notice it's saying typical is going to be 0.5. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to type in 0.5. Alright, it's asking us to select those shapes. Notice it's selecting the whole side. If it's not selecting your whole side, you did not make your sides tangent. Alright, so we click apply, and our windshield is starting to take form. Alright, so at this point we are ready to shell the bottom of it. Okay, so if we look at our drawing, it's telling us the shell is going to be 0.07. Okay, that's how thick the shell is on this particular drawing. So if we flip the drawing up, we're looking at the bottom of our shape, and then I choose shell and I select the bottom. You're going to want to type 0.07. Alright, once you have 0.07, press OK. Bottom is shelled out. We now need a work plane so we can continue working on the bottom of our drawing. I'm going to click on plane. I'm going to choose offset from plane, and I'm going to select the bottom of this shape and pull this down. this distance needs to come a certain amount, all right? And if we're looking at our drawing, switching over here, it drops down, this work plane needs to come down 0.67. So that's the number I'm going to use. Okay, so we'll switch back over. I'll type the 0.67 and hit enter. Now that is the distance coming off of it. Okay, so we're going to start a 2D sketch on the base of this. We're going to project some geometry before we get started. So we want to project the whole outside of our shape. I'm going to rotate the drawing so it's on its side, just so it matches the dimensions that I have on the sheet. It'll be easier for you to understand. Alright, so I'm going to come in, I'm going to draw a rectangle. We need to dimension this rectangle. The outside of that rectangle from the top edge to the bottom, from here to here, ends up being 2.26. Okay, and then from bottom edge to the edge of the glass ends up being 0.29. So we'll go from here to here, 0.29. Okay, and then we will dimension from the back edge to the front edge, 2.22. Okay, and then 2.22, and then from the front edge ends up being 0.68. So if we could dimension from here to here, that should be 0.68. Okay, so there we go. Now let's put some fillets on this. Okay, the fillets have a radius of 0.15 according to the sheet. So I'm going to choose fillet, type in 0.15, okay, bend these corners over for each of them. Okay, shape is done. We now can do an offset. Okay, the offset of that thickness ends up being, oh, how thick is the inside of that? They are telling us that it is 0.05 thickness. 0.05 thickness. So there we go. I'm going to finish the sketch. I'm going to do an extrude. I'm going to select that shape that we just drew going into the box. The distance is going to be to next, so when it hits the inside of the glass, that it stops. Alright, just like that. And press OK. This work plane that we have here, we can right click on it, turn off visibility. Alright, and our shape is almost there. We're getting there. We need to put some notches on the bottom of our shape. So to do that, alright, we are going to start a 2D sketch, and we're going to do it over here on one of these surfaces. Alright, so I'm going to start a 2D sketch on this plane. Again, I like to rotate it so it looks like the sheet. Okay, we zoom in. Alright, I'm going to get my rectangle tool, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to draw a box. Okay, I'm going to draw a box. We need to dimension that box. Alright, so from here to here, the overall of that shape should be 0.05, 0.05. Alright, the depth is also, no, point. Depth is 0.04. Let's try it again. Alright, so we go 0.04, hit enter, okay, and there is our block. Alright, now we need to dimension that, make sure it's landing in the right spot of the block. So if I go to dimension and I base this off of the drawing here, they're going to say from this front edge to this front edge, that distance should be 0.68. That's just what they're, no, it should be 0.95. It's what they're telling us on the drawing. So 0.95 shifts that box over to here. Okay, and then they're saying there's a distance between those two of 1 inch. So if we take that shape, all right, and we choose rectangular pattern, and I select each of the sides there, okay, and I choose the direction being along this line, and we want it to go over in this direction. How far? Well, here we have it set to 1 inch, so every 1 inch it's going to put another one of those boxes. Alright, so here it is, it's dropping one of those on there. Alright, I press OK and it dropped it on there. Alright, so now what I want to do is I'm going to finish the sketch, I'm going to do an extrude, and I'm going to zoom in on those two boxes that I just selected. We want to go the opposite way, and we want to choose to next, so it stops at the inside of the shape. So when they're coming up, you can notice they're going through the shape and they will stop. I press OK. Let's look at the bottom of our shape. There's our two notches, looking good so far. Now we're going to mirror them, so we have them on this side. I'm going to choose mirror. I'm going to select the two features that I want. Okay, my mirror plane I don't have on here yet, so I want to put a mid-plane heading from between here and here. There's my mid-plane. Okay, so let's go back to mirror. Okay, the features we want are these two. Okay, our mirror plane is going to be this edge. Alright, and if you look at the other side here, you can see that it's putting those on there. I press OK and it's done. Alright, you can turn that work plane off, right click, turn off visibility. The only other thing that you need to do, okay, is you would draw in this space one more of those, extrude it in, okay, then mirror it to the other side, and this shape is finished. Okay, that's the only other thing that I haven't done, is adding those last two notches, which is the same process as the two that we've already put on there. Let's change up how this shape looks. What you want to do to change your color is come up to the top. You want to change generic, and you're going to just choose ABS plastic. Okay, that will change the look of your shape. And then as far as color, we're going to scroll up and we are going to choose, oh, where is it? Clear green. Okay, so come up to clear, choose green, and there is our clear green plastic. We're able to look through it and admire our wonderful windshield. Alright, great job on this one. So go up to File, Save, make sure you give it a name. Alright, and on to the next part. Looking good.